Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
So I wanted to make this video to help new players get into the game. I have noticed the game makes zero effort to make itself more accessible and easy to understand. In game, I saw many simple mistakes that new players, or even players with a lot of battles, keep doing, and they become a liability to their own team just by making bad decisions. And you know I can't blame them because, as I said, the game doesn't help at all. I'm no unicum in the game, I don't participate in tournaments or anything, but I think I have enough experience to at least guide some players. I don't have the pretension to make anyone a war machine with insane numbers, but if you keep dying early, if you keep being at the bottom of the score, if you don't also understand what you are doing wrong, then I can help a bit. First of all, I wanted to address builds. I have a mod that allows me to see my teammates' builds, and most of the time, the people that were doing badly in games had really bad builds. And when I started playing, I was doing the same thing too. So, you know, everyone started somewhere. Just note that what I'm gonna show you are general builds, and of course you can do more stupid builds that could see worth, but chances are that if you struggle with the game, those special builds will just make you die faster. First of all, before going into specifics, you need 10 point captain minimum starting for tier 6, because you are gonna meet tier 8, and they have a huge concealed advantage over you if you don't have, if you have less than 10 points. Also, starting from tier 8, when you will get a ship tier 8, be sure to have at least 2 million credits to get the concealment module, this thing here. Because this will help you at a higher tier and get the better out of you. Concealment is super important in the game. You always want to have maximum concealment. That's not negotiable if you want to have a chance to survive high tier. Anyway, we'll start with captain builds and the ship's equipment. So I will take my Shimakase as an example for torpedo boats. So torpedo boats, for any destroyers really, not even torpedo boats, but even the other bigger gunboats, you always want to take those 4 skills first. That's why you want 10 points directly to reach concealment expert. So first of all, we're gonna take preventive maintenance because it's gonna make less chance for me to lose my engine when I get shot at. Second skill is gonna be last 10 because if I lose my engine, for example, I will still regain. I will still be a little bit maneuverable because without this skill, if you lose your engine, you can't move. You're done. And with this skill, you will go like 30 knots, something like that. So you will still move. And destroyer, because you have so little HP to start with, you have to always be moving. If you don't stop moving, you're dead, basically. So this is practically mandatory. Survivability expert. This skill gives you more points the higher tier you have. So at tier 10 you get 3500 HP. So this is huge, and I can't count how many times this skill saved me at the end of the game. Because when you think about it, 3500 HP is like a few salvos from destroyers and 1 or 2 salvos for cruisers. So yeah, at the end of the game, if you have less than 3000 HP, this skill saved you, literally. And as I said, Concealment Expert has the last 4 points. Because your detectability, your concealment is super important in destroyers. And especially on torpedo boats like this. So you want this skill as fast as possible. So yeah, that's the first 10 points here. And I can shoot any ship I have. They all have it. Dying, yep, I have him. Gdansk, yep, I have him. Alon, yep, still there. You always want those one. Just by taking those skills, you will increase your survivability by a huge margin, and you will noticeably even die later in the game, or just straight up survive. So yeah, if you survive in a destroyer, you are useful. You are also useful because you can capture objectives, spot, flank. So yeah, as long as you're alive and those skills helps you being alive, you will be useful. So yeah, now you can invest in your armament. Now that you have more than 10 points in your commander, you can invest in your armament. I would say that Adrenaline Rush is the next you should aim at, because the less HP you have, the faster your armament will be. And in games you will always take damage, so will always be useful. After, fill the tubes, because you are a torpedo destroyer like Shimakaze. You want to reload your torpedoes faster, of course. So you want to get them faster. So this skill is always useful. And after that, it's a bit up to interpretation. On Shimakaze, I took radio location because Shimakaze, everyone loves to shoot at Shimakaze, and knowing where your closest enemy is always a big thing, because you outspot everyone because of your really good concealment. Knowing where your closest enemy is always super useful. But you could easily adopt this skill. And with all that, you are at 20 points. As you can see, my commander is level 20. And as my last skill, I will take Consumable Specialist to get those consumable reload faster. On Shimakaze, this skill is useless because you can't see in the game, but your torpedoes already have the best flute chance, so you don't need to improve that further. And those skills are pretty much useless for you, so take this skill. And that's how it should look like for any torpedo destroyer. I will show you another one when I have a slightly different build. Halan. As you can see, it's almost the same build, except I dropped radio location to take Superintendent. Because Halan has a heal, and a heal is super useful, right? So you want to always have one. So yeah, I took Superintendent. And this, because European torpedoes have really bad fleeing chance, so I increased it a bit, right? But this will be good too. And for the last point, I didn't really know what to take, so I took this. Because I don't have smoke, so it's really good to touch. And yeah, that's it, basically. Same for Young, it's pretty much the same build, right? I will probably take this, or radio location, like my Shimakaze. Like this. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Yep, that's it for classic torpedoes. Torpedo ship, torpedo destroyers. So as you can see, like, don't take don't take this as a torpedo destroyer, don't take this, don't take this, don't take this, don't take this, okay? That's useless. Forget about it. And also this is really bad. This is a bad skill. Forget about it, do. It's useless. So now for gunboat. The first 10 points don't change, right? Preventive buttons, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert, right? Those are the basics. It's not even a question, always take those. So gunboats have a bit more wiggle room when it comes to their build, and we could split them in two categories, smoke farmer and open water gunboats, right? Obviously you want to gun the guns. So in general, for smoke farmers, you want to use their smoke as much as possible. So take Superintendent. After the skill, like your 13th point, take Superintendent. You will have more smoke, more speed boost, and more heals. If your ship has heals, yeah, just take Superintendent. It's most mandatory when you have heals, like on Daring, for example. Then get that Adrenaline Rush, right? It's a free buff to your guns, and that's what you want, right? After that, you can buff the fire rate with this skill called Main Battery on AA Specialist. It increases your fire rate by 5%, which is on top of Adrenaline Rush. So often in games, you can get almost 1 second off your fire rate just by surviving, taking damage, and Those both of things combined will shave off a lot of reload time and increase your DPS. So that's huge. And with 2 more points left, like you can take pretty much anything you want. Z42, for example, has really bad traverse speed for the main battery, so I took this and this, right? Gun feeder, because it wants also to change between AP and HE a lot. So I took that, right? For my daring, I ignored this skill and took those instead, on top of radio location, and I didn't take adrenaline rush. Demolition expert, because daring has really good uh, chance to set enemies on fire and are really AP too. So I want to lean into that. But it's fine if you can follow my build that I showed you before with Adrenaline Rush and main battery on AS Specialist. Okay. So yeah, there's a bit more build diversity. So we are gonna talk about that later. So now for the open water gunboats, you will be spotted a lot, because in general they don't have smoke. So after the 10 point skill that are still mandatory, those ones, and after taking Adrenaline Rush, which is even more important for open water gunboats, you want to buff your guns again. So you will probably spotted a lot, because you will want to shoot a lot. So Fearless Brawler is almost mandatory on those ships. As long as you're spotted, you will decrease your main battery all the time by 10%, which is a huge buff, right? And in open water gunboat, you just want to shoot always, so take it, it's free, right? After that, you can take multiple routes, like buffing your guns even more with those skills, or you can buff your consumable. But in general, open water gunboat don't have wheels, and with tragedy you have enough speed boost anyway to last all the game. So support that is not even mandatory, right? So I just buff my consumable for my speed boost to last even longer and have even more fire chance. But if you want, you can just ignore those two and increase your firing range, which is on Marso it's not that good, but in Cabaros or Delny or Lushun, that's really good. Like for example Lushun, that's what I did. It has really good firing arc, so might as well increase it. And I didn't take super Anton on FNE, even if I have heals, because 4 super heals is a bit overkill. So yeah. Now for the builds. On Gunboat it's pretty much the same. I expect you don't buff your tops, you buff your aiming system, your accuracy, right? And your reload time. The rest doesn't change. You get better reload time and better accuracy. That's it. That's the build. Like there's nothing else to do. Like on Fragility you can take Engine Boost Mode 1 because they have a super good speed boost. And you want it to last as long as possible. So yeah, take it. That's basically the only difference, right? But see, yeah, Daring cannot take the prop mode. So just take steering gear, it's free. Hope that's an error. I wanted to test something. Yeah. So yeah, gunboats, you just basically do that. So obviously all I said was general advice. Some ships get away with different builds. Like my chairman is a smoke farmer, and I wanted it to lean more into just like smoking up and farming far away. It looks a lot like the Lucian build. So that's why I took range, because it has great fire and great shell arcs. So I just increased the range to 15 kilometers. So basically, yeah, on Marceau, on the opposite, I wouldn't want to increase the range because the arcs are really bad. So yeah, it's not really a good idea. Same for daring, right? if you have to shoot at 50 kilometers with Marceau or Daring arcs, like it's pain. It's pain. You don't want that. So adapt those templates to your ships, even if the general idea is to always think about your ship capabilities when building a commander. So I repeat, I don't want to see a gunboat build Chimakaze or Asashio in my games, okay? You always take the at least concealment on DD, and you build them for what they're good for. So yeah, here are some builds for Techland DDs. Gearing is more torpedo focused nowadays. So yeah, I built it for torps. It's basically the same as Shimakaze. Daring, yeah, you should probably take Adrenaline Rush and leaving those skill out. But that's what I did with this one, right? So yeah, speed boost focus, so I increase the speed boost time with this skill. Okay, so we are gonna play a little game together, right? I'll show you some screenshot, and you have to find why this is a terrible build to play, okay? If you don't care about that, skip to the next chapter, which is gonna be about cruisers, okay? So let's start. This is a Cossack I met. What is terrible about this build? You can easily see what's wrong, right? This dude just took everything in the first lines on a Cossack. Like, as I said, he didn't even use the concealment. Cossack has great concealment, one of the best in the game anyway. So you want to buff that. And this good just buff the torps too for some reason. And Cossack torps are not good at all. So this is a waste. He could have just gone for this and be a great gunboat. So instead he decided to just gimp himself. Shimakaze, this could be a great build, except for those two. Like, he didn't enforce his survivability, which is okay, whatever. It could work without it. But no concealment at all. So he would be outspotted by basically everything. And he buffed his guns for some reasons. Like, AVIP isn't gonna do much in Shimakaze, and Yeifichi is like garbage on it too. So he just gimped himself. He just killed himself basically with those skills and not taking concealment. So yeah, he died in the first 3 minutes. Another Shimakaze? Yeah, that's a build. No conceal at all. Like, this is torpedo spotting mode, right? So he's getting spot from the moon, and he took the skill that when he's not spotted, he gets more speed while having terrible concealment. This is bad. And he died in the first minute. Minegumo. What's wrong with this build? Not much. Only two things, honestly. Three, technically. He didn't take survivability. Okay, whatever. You can get away without it. But what is this? Why did you buff your guns? Your guns are shit anyway. What is this? Why did you take Torpedo Lockout? You have great conceal with Minigumu and not taking conceal here. He died in those first 3 minutes. He just died. Like, he could outspot everyone, but he chose not to. And I said he get outspotted by everyone, and he died. What can you do? Some? Yeah, it's British. It's a British gunboat. So what did he do? Buff the torps. Why? No conceal. So he just got spotted by everyone. No prop mode. Sorry, Jutland can't take prop mode, but he didn't take rudder shift. Why? No heal, no additional heal, no additional health. He died. Yugumu, yeah. Do I even have to tell you what's wrong here? I mean, no conceal. He buffs the top, but not his conceal, not his survivability. He buffs the guns for some reason. Yeah, he died. As usual, same issue. No conceal, double rudder improved rudder instead of conceal. So yeah, he got spotted by everyone and he died because Asashio doesn't have health to begin with. So yeah, Hayate uh, improved AP for some reason, more range on Hayate, but he augmented his torps for some reason. And no conceal, no more health. He died. Kagero started with torp, went with guns. Why? I have no idea. Kagero has guns on seal, he didn't use them, he died. Shimakaze, yeah. Buff the torps, okay. And no conceal, he died. The rest of the build is fine, but he just didn't play his ship right and he died. Ye Young. Yeah, that could be good enough if he took conceal and prop mode. And instead he died. Like, that's it. He got us spotted and died directly. Clever, okay, it's not that bad of a build, but you have to play it really good to make it work. And so those skills are redundant because clever tops are bad if if you are not gonna take conceal. So it's not that bad, but it's still pretty bad. He improved his guns, but improved his top, which was useless, and took heavy AP for some reason. I mean, I know Clipper has great AP, but he doesn't really need it anyway. It would have been better off to just switch those, like take that instead of those two and take that, and he would have better guns again. Black, okay, black. This was cancer to see. Black is a Fletcher with a radar, and radar and smoke combination. So if you get in smoke and radar, you can just bully the other TD, right? And on top of that, Black's tops are really bad. They are really slow and take a long time to reload. So your guns are clearly your main advantage. And what did he do? Yeah, he buffed his tops for some reason instead of his guns and survivability. Why? Why would you do that? Alvaro de Bazan, same thing as Black. Really slow tops on this ship, but really good guns. And what does he do? He buffs the tops. Why? And he died in the first minute. Kosovoy, no conceal, no acceleration, all on tops for some reason. Like Kosovoy is more of an hybrid, so you could go with tops, but if you are gonna play it like that, at least like get acceleration and more HP. Kagero, same thing, no acceleration, but the already really good rudder, so what's the point? No conceal. Why? Black, okay, it was the second one. It's not even the same player, but they also buff these drops. Like, why? No conceal for some reason, no more HP. He died. Oh, this one, yeah. I can understand. That's why I tell you to take 10-point commanders, right? If you don't take 10 points, what is this? What is this? At least take conceal. Like, I know you just bought a new ship and you're really excited about it. But if it's just for keeping yourself and dying faster, you're not gonna play it right and you're gonna lose time actually by just dying again and again instead of playing the ship under it that you have probably maxed out and you will get more money out of it to buy stuff for your new ship. So yeah, equip your ship right before playing it. That's really important. L'Aventurier, okay, it's a torpedo boat. So he started right, took this for some reason, and then fine. That just shun those one. Like you don't want to shoot your guns anytime, anywhere with this ship. Go for survivability. You will get more out of it, right? Yeah, like buff the torps, and took this for some reason that it's never gonna use the AP on Gang because it's bad anyway. Took all the skill on the verse. Why? No idea. You don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that. You're just wasting your points, mate. And that's it. To cruisers now. Cruisers are more or less divided in two categories, heavy or light cruisers. Those categories are not related to armor. The only difference between the light and heavy cruiser is the gun caliber. So I think the limit is at 150 millimeters, 155, something like that. So don't expect to turn battleship salvos in your heavy cruisers just because it's called heavy cruisers, right? And more generally in the game, cruisers are either utility cruisers or damage farmers. The former relies more on their utilities for game impact, like radar, hydro, speed boost, something like that. And the other are just pure damage and applying damage over time, like fire on battleships and anything else really. They are the class with a more diverse build because cruisers can go from small caliber HE spammer like G9, Hector, Atlanta, Belfast, Colbert, or more hard-hitting AP ships like Stalingrad, Petro, Des Moines, Marseille, or even secondary cruisers. There's only two in the games, like so far, Schroeder and Napoli, like that. Or just torpedo focused, even though you shouldn't really lean too much into those, right? Torpedoes like Jinan or Yodo are torpedo cruisers, but don't really buff them because your guns are still the main armament on those. Yeah. So anyways, the main thing about cruiser in general is their firepower and utility. So I got that your first 10 point should be spent like this. So let's take an example, Des Moines. Your first line should be either grease the gears, if your turrets are kind of slow. Gun feeder, if you happen to change ammo a lot, like Demon, he wants to shoot AP on HE equally, almost. Or if you're a fast, nimble cruiser like Atlanta, Henry, Colbert, take class 10. It's gonna help you just keep it mobile. Okay. So, Concept Specialist is not that good, honestly. Like, it's good, but I think it's less values than those three. Like, okay. For the second line, generally, Demolition Expert is better on like cruisers when you have less fire change because your shells are smaller, right? But if your cruiser has a spotter plane, like Venezia, for example, you should totally go with Eyes in Sky because it's gonna buff your spotter aircraft a lot. Because in general, the spotter has a long cooldown, so if you take that, you will cut that cooldown by half. And base Venezia has like 17 km, it's not that bad, but when you need it, it really comes in clutch. So yeah, if it's your first two-pointer on this line, if you can take it, take it. It's pretty good, honestly. But if you don't have a spotter plane like Des Moines, you could take it, but don't take it. Concealed announcement is really good when you have radar. So Petro, Des Moines, uh, or if you rely on your constable more, like Henry and his speed boost, right? Yeah, take it. Anyway, third line, no-brainer, superintendent. Starting for tier 9 in general, cruiser have heals. So as long as you have a heal, take superintendent. If you don't have a heal because you're a lower tier or your ship doesn't have one, like Atlanta for example, you can just ignore it, basically. And finally, the fourth slide, concealment expert, as always, it's mandatory because um, when you think about it, cruisers typically have kind of shorter range and their primary role is to bully destroyers, right? So you want to be a support to your destroyer. So getting closer and escaping more easily is huge, because you're really squishy and battleships love to shoot at cruisers. So if you don't take concealment, every battleship is gonna look at you and bully you to death. And in general, you don't have to armor to withstand that. So basically, the only exception is legendary modernry, because I use a legendary mode to get really good reload. But now all of them, they still have conceal. Doesn't matter which one, just take conceal. Honestly. For the rest of your point, it depends of the cruiser really. So Adrenaline Rush is still almost mandatory on every ship. Survivability expert is less important than with destroyer. Like, yeah, I took it on playthrough, but it's less important honestly. It's still good if you have point to spare, right? Look at this build, like for example. Um, yeah, you should take top grade gunner because it matches really well with the radar. Because in general, if you have a destroyer in your radar range and your radar, it's inside your concealment. So you will get that reload buff of top grade gunner anytime your radar basically, and you need that reload buff just to do that tiny bit more damage on it. But it's this skill is basically useless on like cruisers because you have good conceal anyway. But on cruisers with really bad conceal, like Petro, Stalin, yeah, just take it. It's basically a free buff. Like I don't have it because my commander is not high enough, but take it. Like it's free buff. Like this. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it for cruisers, honestly. Um, Torpedo skill is not that great, like Field the Tube and Fish, because as I said, cruisers don't really rely on it. On torpedoes, even my G9, I don't take it. But note that if you have low caliber shells, like less than 149 millimeters, this skill is basically free buff to your guns. Like I take it on Colbert, G9, Atlanta. It's just a free buff. Take it. It's 10% more damage. That's free, that's free. Yeah, and for secondary ships, I almost forgot. So Scudger and Napoli. You could take Pack a Punch, but it's not mandatory. Like I took it on Napoli, but not on Scudder, because on Scudder, the, the conceal is almost the same range as the secondary range anyway. So I prefer to spend it more on something else. But yeah, for secondary, yeah, you can take it, right? And Scroder is way more squishier than Napoli, so I prefer to take survivability expert to get a bit more health, right? And top grade gunner, because if something is in your secondary range, you're gonna get a buff. So it's free damage, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Cruisers and equipment basically don't have much choice. Like, if you have a radar, you want to take that radar. First slot is always main armament mode 1. You shoot your gun on cruiser, so you take aiming systems. You prop mode is mandatory for cruiser almost. Concealment, and in general, here I have leg mode, but just take reload for cruiser, like honestly. I think yeah, I have range. You can take range, it's good too, like. But yeah. If you have a speedboat, it's important to note like this that it's not mandatory to take prop mode, but it's few case. Like it's not the main. Like yeah, Jinan prop mode. Schroeder, I think I have yeah prop mode too. Like but for secondary ship, you also want to take secondary battery mode. So Napoleon Schroeder just take it a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Prop mode, aiming system, main armament mode 1, engine mode protection. Hector, I take that because I can't take prop mod, but yeah. There's only like Petropavlos. I'm going to do it right now. Petropavlovsk and Napoli get. It's a two ship. We are taking fire control system, so more range improves a lot your dispersion. So it's probably better to take it on those two, but only those two. It's not gonna do anything on Stalingrad at all, so you better just take that. And yeah, Stalingrad, yeah, it took damage control system, but honestly, yeah, prop mod is probably better anyway. So it just mean because of how I play it, right? But yeah, prop mod is probably better. So yeah, that's Cruiser basically. So also about your consumable choice, when you have the choice, always take spotting aircraft. Always, if you have a choice. Like you can see, you have a choice with this little square here. Fighter is pretty much useless unless this chance with a CV next CV rework. But as of August 2024, fighter is useless. Never take it. Always, spotting aircraft gives you more range, more accuracy on your guns too, indirectly, and it meshes with the eye in the sky skill. So never take fighters ever. It's useless. Never take it. If you have choice, of course. And also, for example, on Zao, see this is a wrong build. I never used Zao anyway. I just grind it until it. So always take spotting aircraft and hydroacoustic search, not defensive AFIR. Defensive AFIR is only good on ships with crazy AA base, and Zero, for example, doesn't have good AA. Japanese don't have good AA at all, more generally. So defensive AFIR is useless because it's a percentage, right? You add 50% more damage to your continuous damage, which is trash anyway. So 50% more trash is still trash at the end. The only useful is the shell explosion damage, but as you can see here, you have only 6 shells explosions. So the CV must be really bad to hit those. So yeah, just take Hydro whenever you can. Take Hydro. It's gonna be useful in 100% of your games. While defensive A, you have to have a CV and good A to make it work. So only like a few ships can take it. And in general, ships that have good AA, like Austin for example, have it anyway. So what's the point? Like see Demon for example, doesn't have great AA, so don't take it. And anyway, it's more useful to take Hydro. Same for the planes, like take surveillance radar, not spotting aircraft, not fighters. You're always better for with radar and Hydro in slots. I don't think, yeah, Code has a choice, but yeah, as always, no defenses are never take it. It's bad. It's always been bad, at least in the current rework. So always take Hydro. Always take Hydro. Hydro, by the way, is used to spot enemy ships in smoke at like, as you can see here, 5 kilometers, and guarantees detection of torpedoes at 3.5 in this example. So in all your game, you're gonna see torpedoes in all your games. So when in doubt, when you think there's torpedoes coming on your way, pop Hydro. It's useless to pop it at the start of the game. So yeah, that's it for the consumables. And we are back at the game. Try to find why this build sucks. Yeah, so let's start with that. Yeah, you just took out the line. Intalina's shit top, so why would you build into that? No conceal, of course, no improvement for his consumables. Secondary, I don't know why. Why would you take secondary on a cruiser that has shit secondaries? No idea. Yep, he died. Rune, yep, same thing. He just took the first line and he died. Yeah, not even conceal. Secondaries, for some reason, I don't know. Torps, reload for 6 kilometer torps, like why would you take that? No idea. Castilla, yeah, this was pretty bad because he didn't improve his heal, it improved his torpedo damage for some reason, and Castilla has pretty bad torps anyway. He took EFHE, don't know why. Castilla has really good HE, really good pen on it. Why would you take more? Like, that's basically useless. No conceal, of course, because why would you need it, right? Auckland, yeah, basically a free Auckland. These ships are really squishy, so if you don't take Cosin, you're basically dead on the water as soon as you leave your smoke. So that's pretty bad, honestly. As I said, just wait to have a 10-point captains, otherwise you're gonna suffer. Brindisi, yeah, no captains, no equipments. They're just asking to die, honestly. Mogami, yep, no conceal, of course. Top Grey Gunner, like, you could play in behind the rock, but as soon as you're spotted, you're gonna die. And buffing the top is pretty bad because anyway, they are not, they don't go far enough. And eating tops with a cruiser is pretty hard anyway, so you don't want that. Venezia, no conceal. It has a smoke, so as long as you're in smoke, you're fine in Venezia. And you're nimble enough that you can dodge some stuff, but that's still pretty bad for the average player. Hindon, yep. Why would he buff his top? No idea. He could have just ignored all of that, take conceal, and he would be way better. Way more chance to survive, just basically. Harbin, yep, I like cruiser. And he just gonna get spotted and die. That's how it ended, that's how he died. He just got spotted and GG. Like, it has okay torps, but don't build it into them. Your guns are still your primary source of damage. Jinan, yep, built his torps. Like, yeah, it's fine to take this kill, but if you take the torps and no conceal, you're gonna pray that your smoke lasts long enough, that people are gonna run into your torp, which is really not guaranteed. And as long as you leave your smoke, you're done. It doesn't have more heals, it doesn't have anything, honestly. Own, yep. Same issue, no conceal. He gets Death Strike. Easy. Venezia, oh yeah. Why did he take AVAP? I have no idea. It's basically, it's not useless on Venezia, it has okay AP, but why would you do that? And buffing the AA with Venezia is shit. Italians have really bad AA. Like, you don't even want to build it to it. Oops. Yep. So, yep. Yeah. You don't even want to build it to AA. So, that's pretty bad. No conceal at all. So, he's gonna get spotted onto the moon. No acceleration. Built into secondary for some reason. Amalfi, yeah, built into a AVAP, basically the same mistake. Why would you do that? You're just gonna die. Like, every battleship is gonna look at you and lost. So yeah, that's basically it. So for battleship, I feel like there's a worst class for build diversity. Like, there's only two, maybe three if you count the slide, 3 or 4. I mean, if you count the slide variation in archetypes. So there's tank build and secondary build. As always, aim for concealment expert with your first 10 points. So that's here. In the first line, you have the choice between gun feeder and preventive maintenance. I like to take gun feeder on battleship with smaller guns like Wisconsin, Montana, uh, and also Vermont, because the HE on Vermont is really good. So sometimes I will often switch on it. But you can also take preventative maintenance. It's gonna always help. Like it helps save your AA or your modules in general. So it's never a bad choice. You don't need that. You don't need really that. This one is pretty much useless. 3% is really bad. For 2 pointers, by default, take this one, Grease the Gears. It improves your main battery traverse speed. But you can take also this one, Brisk. If your ship has, let's say, around 30 kilometers of concealment maximum, this one's really good because you proc it a lot in games. It helps you go around like 3 or 4 knots faster. And on some ship that you can actually pass like the 40 knots, like on Incomparable or Saint Vincent, you almost reach 40 knots with them. So as long as you have less than 13 kilometers, like on this one, for example, 12.9, I don't take it there, but it's probably better to take it, right? So for example, Vermont is 12.6, so I take it. On the 3-pointer line, aim for Adrenaline Rush, always. This is too good. On very long gun reload, like on battleships, like you're gonna save like a few seconds every game. So always take this one. And then, of course, Concealment Expert. After that, save 4 points and take either this one or this one. This one helps reducing the risk of catching fire and also your maximum number of fires, right? So your maximum number of fire is like, because on every ship there's 4 zones of fire, like the front of the back of the ship, and also the middle have 2. So by taking this skill, you make it 1. So 1, 2, 3. And when you're under fire, that's really good. And this skill basically just give one more heal on top of making it slightly faster. So yeah. Once you've taken your first 10 points, aim for those 2 to get those 2. And for your 3 last point, you have a choice. Either this one, Basics of Survivability, take this one by default in general. But improved party readiness is really good on tanky battleship, and by that I mean like Vermont that I took, because it has fast steel and also can tank fairly well. I didn't take it on Ohio because in general you're under fire. But for example, Incomparable has it, because like it has low HP and you can dodge pretty well in it, so it's pretty good on it. St. Vincent's the same, right? So basically everything with like decent tanking capabilities and also low HP, yeah, you can take it. It's pretty good. So that's it for the tank build. Basically just build them like that and you'll be fine. For the equipment on the tank build, I'll take this one. Yeah. So as I said, for American battleships, like always take main armament or damage control party mode 1. Okay. Damage control system, like you don't take engine room because your engine is already very well protected. So, and the fires are your biggest enemies in battleship, so take this one. On American battleship, you can take either this or this. I like artillery plotting room modification 1 improves slightly your gun range and also your accuracy. But if you think your turret are still too slow, you can take this one for free. Prop mode, as always. I feel like it helps you dodge a lot of torpedoes. Like you see a torps and you go forward, your acceleration is so good that it's gonna help you anyway. Concealment, as always, don't take that, it's bad. Don't take that, it's bad. Like there's only one choice, it's this. And on American battleship, take artillery plotting room mode 2, because it improves your dispersion. On a more classic battleship, like Yamato, yeah. See, I took damage control system, but honestly I'm gonna change it right now. Yeah, that's better. The only difference with American battleship is on this slot you take aiming systems, And on this side, take main battery modification 3 to improve your reload. This one because you get better accuracy, and this one because it makes you shoot more. And that's pretty much for the tank build. Now let's go to the secondaries, like really popular. Yeah. Uh, for secondaries, you would go with this build. You take preventive maintenance because it buffs your secondary battery survivability. Increase the gears because as a brawler you will use your rudder a lot and you will swing those turrets really often. So yeah, buffing those is a really good idea. Long range secondary battery shell because that's your gimmick, your secondary battleship. And for your first 10 point, for the last 4 I still take concealment expert because you have to get in range to get into secondary range, right? And if you're spotted from the wound, you reduce your chances to get in range at the first place. So I would still go concealment expert first. After that, the next 4 spot, you put them into secondaries. Not like I did, but I did that YOLO. I never used GK anyway. And after your next point, you take emergency repair expert. And for your last 3 point, adrenaline rush. Okay? So that was how I would do it. Schlieffen is slightly different. See, that's basically the same build, but I took this one in Arcetius for HE shell, like often shortened into EFHE, because Schlieffen has a lot of smaller caliber secondaries that GK doesn't have, like it's those 105, and if you take this skill, it makes the pen 32 millimeters, and that's what you want in tier 10. So that's the only time I will take secondary. And anyway, Schlieffen has so much DPM that fire is not really an issue. So maybe your chance of causing a fire is reduced by half, but you shoot so many shells with Schlieffen that it doesn't really matter anyway. In Cure First, you don't need it. You don't need this skill. Because your secondaries are 128 and 150s, and the base they already paint 32 millimeters, so it's a waste to take it. Don't take it on GK, it's useless. And that's pretty much it. Now for the equipment, you want to buff those secondaries, so secondary battery survivability, fire as always, protect yourself. So here there's slight change, like in general you want secondary battery modification to increase the range and dispersion. But for random, sometimes it's better to just buff your accuracy of main guns. So it's your choice, really. I'd say aiming systems is probably the better choice in general, but you can just take both. Like honestly, the gun accuracy is so bad anyway that it doesn't really matter. I feel like prop mode to dodge everything, torpedoes and shells, concealment because you don't want to be spotted from the moon. And I'd say main battery modification 3 is always better than auxiliary armament because like your main gun are still gonna do big damage and you want to shoot those. That can come in clutch, right? Like for drive-bys and all, you want your guns loaded fast. So I'd say this is probably always a better choice. And as you can see on Schlieffen, that's basically the same thing. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. And of course, don't forget to equip the flag to buff the secondary range, because that's what you want. So now, again, we are gonna do a slide quiz. That's the end of the video. After that, there's nothing else. So if you want to quit out now, you can. So if you want to stay, we will see some builds I've seen in game and see why they are bad. So that is a Wisconsin built for secondaries. Like Wisconsin is really good at range, so you don't want to build it for secondaries really. And it doesn't get more heals, and Wisconsin it heals like nothing. No concealment, even though Wisconsin has a great concealment when upgraded. So yeah, I think this is pretty bad. Like pretty much useless. Wisconsin is not made for close quarters, so that's a waste, completely a waste of points. Izumo, okay, if we would have dropped this skill and this skill, for example, he would have taken concealment for free, and also he took nothing. Like he basically just died because he was spotted at 17 kilometers and got farmed. So yeah, this is a pretty bad first choice. I'll say concealment is really good. And if you have no modules, no upgrades, you're basically a free farm unless you know what you're doing. Prince Operate. Not built for secondaries, that's the strong point of the ship. Not even like in anything. Like it's built for Furious, which is a pretty bad skill by the way, don't take it ever. Like this one, don't take it ever. No conceal, so he's spotted from the moon. And Prince Repress doesn't have a lot of HP, so this is a waste. Like, for real. He basically built the whole ship wrong. Zieten, same thing, secondary ship, not built for secondaries. He took FHE for some reason. See, he took secondaries here, but if he managed this point way better, he would have gotten some of them at least. So this is a waste. Like, why would you take these if your secondaries are so short range, right? And all of this is a waste, this is waste, this is waste, this is waste, this is waste. Yamato, secondary. Yamato is not made for secondaries, so taking it is a complete waste. Yamato already has a good anti-torpedo protection, so improve it even further, like, it's not that great. You don't want FHE on Yamato, because the secondary is already been 30 millimeters, that's already good. Heavy AP is gonna make you burn fast even more, so yeah, it's not very good. He got farmed to death. FDG, like, what the fuck is that? The call module is a bit of a waste because it doesn't make you go last longer, like it's like what, 20 seconds with the module, and without it's 15. Yeah, it's not that great. Without the skill, you could have got something else. This is a waste, this is a waste, this is a waste, this is a waste. Like, could have at least like taken, I don't know, this skill or something. Yeah. Savitsky Soyuz, not an HE spammer, not a secondary ship, it's just a chunky ship. So why did he go for that? Like, he doesn't have conceal at all, so this skill is pretty much useless because he's always gonna get spotted. Um, Savitsky Soyuz doesn't want to throw HE at people, so this skill is a waste. This skill is a waste because you're not gonna throw HE anyway. This is a waste, this is a waste, this is a waste. Yeah, he could have gotten a classic tongue build and be way better. And I'm not even gonna tell that no accuracy here, no concealment. So yeah, he can see stops for further away, but it's useless because he doesn't have the maneuverability to dodge them anyway, because it didn't take prop mod. So yeah, this is bad. A Dyson secondary build. Dyson could, uh, it technically could be built into secondaries, but it's not that good. And the main selling point of Dyson is his high speed with great concealment. So not building into concealment is a waste. Like, he would have taken this skill, 15 silence, brisk I mean. With concealment, he would do like 40 knots and surprise a lot of people, but instead, he's spotted from the moon. And this ship is not that great at what it does, because Dyson doesn't want to be close. It doesn't have the armor. So yeah, this is completely mismanaged. Schlieffen, yeah. I took this one because it didn't build it in concealment, and one of the biggest strengths of Schlieffen is to have the secondary range almost as good as the concealment. So the secondary goes up to 12.5 kilometers, and the secondaries, when built into it, is 12.6. Yeah, 12.6. So when you spot something, it's already too late for him. And without that, Schlieffen is just a worse UK, I feel like. So not building into conceal really makes you weaker. Even more in Schlieffen. And Carl Johan, yeah. He didn't take conceal here, so his brisk is not that great. He could have taken by removing those 2 points or this 2-1, improve secondaries or concealment. He built into secondaries but still got main guns. It's a bit of an hybrid build, I guess, but that's really bad. Like, you have Hydro anyway, so you don't need that. Yeah, that's mismanaged. Vermont. Why would you take a FHE? As I said, Vermont has crazy HE. Why would you want to cut it in half? I don't know. No conceal here. Well, you could remove those 2 points and take conceal, and his breeze will be way better. And of course, this one is pretty much useless on a battleship. This one too. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Kremlin for secondaries. Why would you do that? I have no idea. No conceal. This Kremlin is not maneuverable enough, so better rudder shift doesn't help much. Secondary is pretty bad. And Kremlin, they get destroyed super easily. Heavy AP doesn't really matter, honestly, because people are gonna see you come from the moon and they're gonna react to it. So, yeah, I think that this is a waste. The Rawa hybrid ship, why secondaries? I have no idea. It's not made for that. Those skills, I can maybe see it on Delaware, but it's not that good, honestly. And the classic, like, yeah, no 4 pointers taken. He has no health. He has no conceal. He has no fire prevention. That's pretty bad. Alsace secondaries. It's a bait, honestly. French ship have improved secondary range, but not improved accuracy. So taking secondaries on French ship is just a bait. It's a bait. It's a noob bait, honestly, because the accuracy is not that great. So if you don't take that aiming system mods one, you're gimping yourself. The console is really bad with this build, so everyone is gonna see him from the moon, everyone is gonna farm him from the moon, and he's not even gonna be in at secondary range, and he's gonna die before. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Mecklenburg, why? What the fuck? Mecklenburg has 128 and 150 secondary, so it doesn't need IFHE at all. You could build it for secondaries, I guess, but AVAP is really sus on Mecklenburg. And no heals, nothing. GK, yeah. GK, don't take a feature on GK, as I said. It's a bait, it's useless. All the skills are useless for him. He doesn't take improved securities at all. Fuso with the FHE. Fuso is the best HE farmers at tier, at tier, like tier 6, I think it is. So if you take EFHE, you're sabotaging yourself. You're making it way less good at what it is, and it's already a great pain. And also, it took AA skill, which is useless on Japanese ships, because the AA is bad. So you don't want this skill at all. You don't want this skill at all. And it could have taken any of those three and made it better, honestly. Also, Fuzu has great range, so this is pretty much useless. He didn't improve his dispersion, this accuracy, so he gimped himself, basically. Karakuro, no skills, no flags, no equipments, nothing. This is bad. And also that was in ranked, so yeah, this is super bad. North, yeah, he took all the first kills and that's it. He died in the first minutes of the game in ranked. GG, thank you. Yamato, yeah, he took the AA skill for no reason because the AA is bad. And also he could have taken anything else. Like, yeah, he was spotted from the moon. Adata, same thing. Why do you take the risk if you don't even have the concealment to go with it? I don't know. And no equipment. Prosen doesn't need the FHE, this is bad. Doesn't need that, this is bad. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I hope I paid at least one people in the world.